so it's really opulent, voluptuous, and just. But what I liked about it was when I tried it during the winter, I thought that it was fresh and smooth and powdery enough not to be limited to a winter wear. So this is what it looks like. It comes in a beautiful case.
Mm.
And so you open it. I think it's the luxury collection of Juliette Has a Gun. And so it comes like that. And it's called Oil Fiction. So it's primarily an amber fragrance. But right now what I'm smelling is sweetness, a little bit of powder, and a lot of elegance. So that's kind of what I decided to wear. I don't have a lot of it. I just have a little bit on my arms just in case we tried other stuff tonight.
That looks great. Well, can you show me that box again?
Yes. My light is not the best. Just because my ring light wasn't working.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me okay? Am I coming across okay on the audio?
Oh, yes. You're coming across really nice.
All right, cool. So my scent of the day, and I love this this house.
Okay.
Lately, they haven't been doing that great. This is a designer house. Mm-hmm. This is Banana Republic, and this is Slate. Let me see if that comes across.
Okay.
The juice color
is really nice. Yeah.
The juice color is a nice dark purple, and this is a very aromatic fragrance. So it has ginger and sage.
Okay.
So it provides this very uplifting experience, but at the same time, it's quite mellow. It's not overpowering, but it lasts all day.
Oh, wow. I know you've talked about Banana Republic, and I've checked like their classic out. And I find like the ginger note is working really well for transition. And it's really interesting because I have 2 ginger fragrances that I wanted to talk about in terms of transitional fragrances that I'm looking forward to wearing. And both are sort of designer fragrances. I find like when fall is approaching, my Twilly is really nice. And also Guerlain, the Aqua Allegoria line. Although it's a fresh line, but their ginger picante is really nice, I find, for fall, because when I tried it this summer, I kind of didn't like it because the ginger and the rose were a little bit too strong, I found, during the summer. So I found myself trying to mix it with more of the citrus fragrances. So I'm looking forward to trying it again this coming, during this transition period, because it has the ginger and a rose note, and really the prominent part of it is really the rose that come out. So I expect that would be really nice.
Hello, we got.
Hi.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on with the connection issues. Sorry, guys.
I'm so glad you joined us.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Yes.
Great to see you.
Yeah, I'll step away a little bit to hear your story, but I can still hear you. I'm just going to try to put a bit more light in that.
So we're going over the scent of the day, and what we're talking about is fragrances that are good transitional fragrances.
Yeah.
So I just discussed my scent of the day, which is Banana Republic Slate. It's just one of those fragrances that is very aromatic, has ginger, sage. There's a couple of other notes in there, but it just gave me what I needed for today. And right now I'm just a little bit, I got my regular clothes on. I had on a suit for you guys, but I took it off.
This is evening gear right here, as you can see.
On Friday. Yeah. So how
casual. So my scent of the day was Elizabeth Arden White Tea. It's a lazy, easy reach fragrance. Good for office, good for whatever. Non-offensive, tea fragrance, exactly as it sounds. But I got all my transitional fragrances sitting over here to talk about. I'm ready.
So let's do it. Let's go into it.
You want to kick it off?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh, where to start? Actually, I'm going to start with one that I learned about through you, Jay. So I'm blaming this purchase on you.
Oh,
and I've
wow,
had it
okay.
for a while, and I really like it. And actually, I wore it last night, and it is Tobacco Vanille.
That's a
Pandora
great
scent.
fragrance.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, as you know, this is a dupe for exactly what the name is, Tobacco Vanille, or inspired by, whatever you want to say. And I really enjoy this. You remember I did that big aroma concepts haul.
Yes.
That you turned me on to them, and this was in the haul. And I really
You know what I like
this.
about that version? It has like this it's almost a spicy sweetness to it.
Very much.
You know, it's not, to me, it's not a match, like a 100%.
Right.
I like this one, the nuances about that one, and it's a really great transitional fragrance. So what's the weather like where you're at in your neck of the woods?
We're starting to get hints of cool. So I'm in Central Virginia. It stays pretty hot and muggy here for a long time. But today and yesterday, we just started to get, you know how like in the morning you get a little bit of coolness. And then in the evenings it cools down. So that's the period that we're in. I would say it gets to about, 70s or so. And that's cool for here for this time of year. And the days is still going up into the 80s. So something like this is fun, especially as you go into the evening hours. To put on. And I think you're absolutely right. It's not a one-to-one dupe for Tobacco Vanille, but it's close enough to give you the idea. And some people say this smells like root beer, which is kind of fun, like a spicy root beer.
Yeah, that's the spiciness and the almost kind of like a licorice type vibe to it.
Right. Yep. This is Tobacco Vanille mod from Pandora Scents, an imitation house.
Okay.
Yeah. A really neat one. So for those of you out there that like Tobacco Vanille and you want something in that ballpark, you may want to try something like this for in the neighborhood of, what was this, Jay? Maybe like $30. There's $25 to $30, something like that.
Something like that.
Yep.
It's not gonna break the wallet.
Yeah.
I got a little. I'm not gonna switch topics. I'm just gonna make a comment, and I'll see what you ladies have to say about my comment. I was on a stream not too long ago where the question came up: what's the difference between a fake and a dupe? So I have my own explanation to it, but I'll give you the 30,000-foot overview. So a fake, right, is like a fake handbag, right? They try to make it exactly like the original one, where you have some designers that actually look at an imprint or a design and then they copy that. And that is not a fake. That's just uninspired by, in a way.
Right. That's right. I think of it the same way. I think of counterfeit as fake, right? Or fake as a counterfeit. And inspired by is a knowing imitation, not trying to dupe the buyer into thinking they're buying the exact same thing. So, and I want to say a note to the audience too, because I'm a big eBay shopper. And lately there's been an influx on eBay of actual fakes, counterparts. Counterfeits. I just want people to be aware and to be particularly cautious when they're shopping from vendors that are overseas, especially Russia and China, which tend to be the areas that are pushing out the counterfeits the most. Not to say that there aren't sellers there that are selling genuine products, just be careful.
Yeah, I would have to like 110% agree with that. Especially the Russia counterfeit stuff, they really are almost identical. Very hard to spot which one is which.
That's right.
Just kind of be careful with that. And another thing that's kind of interesting also is that I'm not sure if you ladies are familiar or anyone in the audience is familiar with Wish. Wish.com.
Yes.
So Wish also sells fake fragrances on their website, which is kind of
Oh wow.
incredible.
Yeah. Right. And people don't understand what they're purchasing.
No, they don't.
So, yeah.
So we're back to you, Maud. What do you have to? Do you have anything, any flavor to add to that fake conversation about fakes and inspired by fragrances?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the inspired fragrances, I've had, I think Fab by Ketra sent me some little sample of a company that does sort of inspired fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
And had I not known that it was an inspired fragrance, I would have thought it was a dupe of a Delina and of something else. And to me, they really smell the same. The same vibe was there. I couldn't speak to the longevity and whatnot, the performance, but the vibe was definitely there. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of thinking that if I were a college student, or it's just so nice to have a popular fragrance. You know, if I'm a college student, I want to go to a party with a Delina, you know, and I know I'm not going to be able to afford it. So,
right.
Having, you know, the difference in price and the same vibe, to me, is just a very nice thing to address different markets. Mm-hmm. You know, some people are just never going to buy the dude because they like the bottle, they like the presentation, they like having the concept even for their own collection. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't really have any strong opinion about any marketing strategy that reach different pocketbooks, you know. Mm-hmm. So clearly dupes would be a problem. I've seen a couple of not like fakes would be a problem. I've seen a couple of posts by perfumers, you know, like Paolo Terenzi. I've seen a post of his on Instagram where he shows, you know, some perfumes that claim to be his that are not.
Yeah.
And I think there may even be some danger in terms of the questionability, you know, some of the ingredients, the safety of those ingredients may even be questionable, because I guess if they're trying to sort of lie to someone, that may not be going to the right regulatory situation, and they may be using ingredients that are not safe. Mm-hmm. And I remember the perfumers were particularly concerned about that aspect of safety also. Yeah. So that area is clearly problematic.
Agree. And not to mention illegal, right? Yeah. Counterfeits are illegal. Inspired by is nothing, you know, I mean, that's fine. It's just a matter of opinion. Counterfeits are illegal. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're all on the inspired by team.
Oh, I am completely. I'm a big fan. I like them both. I love the purity of having the original in the bottle, especially if you can afford it. And whether or not you can afford it, if you want to buy some of the inspired by, there's some wonderful ones out there. Alexandria Fragrances, Be Layered, they, you know, all these houses do really phenomenal inspired by.
What was that your first experience with inspired by, Maud, or?
No, actually, now that you mentioned the Be Layered, I wore it to the gym because I wouldn't put the real one on.
Yeah, that's great when you don't want to, right.
Yesterday.
That's perfect. You don't want to waste down your real one sweating out at the gym. So you used to Dupe. I love it. That's excellent.
I want to say a quick shout out to Russell Mack, Solomon Vineyard. He's in the house. Jason is in the house. Kevin is in the house. And we got Marshall's in the house. He just came through.
Hey, Marshall.
Manuel came through. Dwayne came through. Bro Sense came through. Tyrone.
Awesome.
So we have a couple of people that came through. So thank you,
Hey,
everybody.
everyone.
Hi.
And I know you guys don't want to see my ugly mug. I got two beautiful ladies here that you guys could enjoy watching on the screen.
Come on, camera, Jay. Cut it out. Woo! Look at that. Okay, yeah. Come on, camera.
Very nice.
Yeah, I haven't been doing any live. I've just been going on the road, so I've not been even using my light. So I couldn't even find the connector for my ring light.
Yeah.
So my lighting is just terrible. I just have to get back in the groove.
Oh.
Yeah.
It looks fine though. You look good. We can see you clearly.
Thank you.
So Maud,
Okay,
I
there we
guess
go.
you could lead us into your next transitional fragrance now.
Yes. So, I mean, how do I define transitional? So basically, I define transitional like things that have not quite worked for me during the summer. And on winter, I'm not also feeling them. So all of these fragrances, I am sort of using them now in this transitory period because I assume if it didn't work on summer, winter, then they must work now during the fall and things like that. And I also think a little bit about the smell of the leaves, of the autumn leaf, and what would work with them.
Yeah.
So I think we just mentioned the ginger note. I think that would work well. The amber note. You weren't there. You weren't here, but Veronica. But I did talk about oil fiction. I don't know if you know it.
I heard that portion, even though I couldn't join. I was listening in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. So along the line of a little bit of ambery stuff that are not necessarily so strong that you have to leave them for winter and they get a little bit too heavy on summer. I have this one by Penaligan. Of course, the bottle is beautiful.
Wow.
Packaging is amazing.
Yes. So it's
So that's an owl and it looks like a countess on the box or something like that.
Hold on, I'm blind.
I'm
gonna put my old eyes on. Let me see.
Yeah. So it's the
other glasses.
Yes, Roofless Contest Dorothea.
Gotcha. Oh yes, that is a beautiful one.
Yeah. And I felt like I bought it during the winter, but it didn't really last on me during the winter. And I didn't even try to use it during the summer.
Yeah.
So, but I love it so much. I'm not kidding. It's so addictive because it's the note in play here is a white wine.
Oh.
So it's light and boozy and effervescent.
Uh-huh.
So this is why I think it's going to be perfect. Actually, I should put it on now.
Put it on.
Yes.
It's like so sugary. And, you know, it's red wine. I don't know about you guys. I am having a little bit of wine.
Ah, there you go. Perfect combination.
Yeah, so that is a perfect combination. Seriously, since I cannot drink this, you just really want to drink it. Since I cannot drink it.
What kind of boozy is it? Is it like
they even have the same color?
It's a wine type boozy, or is it what kind of boozy?
Yeah,
wine?
the booziness is coming from the wine.
Wow.
White wine, so it's light and effervescent, and just very beautiful. Yeah.
I like that one. That's it. I only have a decant of that Maud from, do you know Joss? Joss's fragrance mixology. She sent me a decant and I thought it was so beautiful.
Yes. Oh my
God. Reminds me also, is it a little spicy to you also, like fall spices?
Totally spicy, spicy. I can give you some more notes. I can give you the notes. It's an amber vanilla. I'm just looking at the note from Fragrance.
Yeah.
So it does have cinnamon.
Yeah.
So it has some citrus. That's where the freshness, I guess, it's coming from. And it has honey. And I was talking about sweet. Yeah. So it's cinnamon, citrus, vanilla, honey, and a little bit of powdery, like I was feeling, and that white wine, and something they call cashmere. And it also has some clary sage, which makes it a little bit green also. It's just really, really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
That's my only Penhaligon. So I don't know if you guys have other recommendations for me. Clearly, I'm thinking of Cairo and I'm thinking of Halfeti, but I don't know if there are other ones you guys would recommend. But seriously, this fragrance is just good enough just to have it next to you to smell it all day long.
I don't own any Penhaligons, and that's the one that I'm interested in. I've sniffed a few. I think there's a gardenia one and a few others, but that's the one that has caught my eye. Yeah. Do you have any, Jay, any Penhaligons?
I have a Lothair.
Really
is that masculine, unisex, or what?
I think it leans a little bit more towards the masculine side, but it definitely could be something that anyone could wear.
Okay.
So you're next, Jay?
Oh, I'm next. I'm up. Okay. So this is a fragrance that I really enjoy. It's from a company called Fresh. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with that. Towel.
Love it.
And this fragrance is just a fragrance that everyone that has tried that fragrance that I know personally and on social media, everywhere, they just love that fragrance. It has a bit of a sweetness to it, but at the same time, it kind of works at a very high level. It's almost kind of like something that is very subtle and you might miss it in a way, but it has this little kick to it that is just beautiful. Very interesting fragrance, very easy to wear. And if you're looking for a fragrance that has sweetness to it, but has a bit of a green note to it, a bit of an herbaceous feel, I think that's a good one.
How do you compare it with other fragrance? Like the one that I smelled was by Malin and Getz. And it was very powerful. I didn't dare buy it, but it was
it's very much wearable. Like you won't, like, people are not going to tell you smell like this fragrance.
Okay.
It's just delightful to me. It has the sweetness here is played really well. It's not like cloying or anything like that. It's just warming, and it's perfect for these transitional periods.
That one has a lot of patchouli in it too. It's one of my favorites, Jay. I don't know if you know that.
A lot. The patchouli really kind of jumps a lot.
Yeah.
In this.
Yeah.
And the actual the greenness to it, because we can't say that word on YouTube.
Yes, that word.
The greenness to it is blended really well, so you don't get like a very tartness to it. It's not like it's just blended really well. I think what kind of offsets it is maybe the plum in there. Kind of works really well with that. And it works for this time period, transition.
Excellent. So I think I may have used it not knowing that you couldn't use the word.
I think you're fine.
Yeah, so we have to do some editing and remove that sentence.
So I guess I'm up next. Let's see here. So why don't we go with I just grabbed 5, right? Like there's a million that we could probably talk about, but I wanted to share fresh cream warm cashmere from the Philosophy line. This is one that I would consider affordable. It's under $50, maybe this size I think is about $35 to $40, which I love. And I like that it is both sweet but also warm and cozy. There's a coconut thing going on in here. I don't know if there's a coconut note or just like an accord, like other notes that make you think there's coconut in here. But that's why I think about it as both a summer and a fall. It could be a great winter scent as well. But it works just as well as like a warm beachy scent here at the end of August into early September if you're still heading to the beach, but great also for cool evenings when you are starting to wear cardigans and sweaters and that kind of thing and want a cozy fragrance. And very affordable, very creamy, and just cozy. Great little cozy scent. Fresh cream, warm cashmere. Nice, neat little fragrance. Great for transitioning into cooler weather.
I think it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I was on mute, so we were doing. I guess we did fresh back to back.
okay. So,
So your that fragrance, I guess, do you really like that brand, or what do you think about it?
Who, me? Philosophy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to tell you since you asked. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So, Philosophy makes a fragrance called Amazing Grace, which is very, very popular. Do you have it, Maud? Are you familiar with it?
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have to admit, it's not my favorite, but it smells wonderful on other people. And that's why I got it, because I had a coworker who, when she came by, the office would just smell amazing. I would literally get up out of my office and go chase her down the hallway to ask what she was wearing. And it was Amazing Grace. It smelled beautiful on her. So I bought it and tried it. And I don't know, it just didn't work for me somehow. So I regret that because I love how it smells on other people. I will say this line Philosophy has a lot of flankers to Amazing Grace and varieties of it that I think are fun to explore. My one complaint about the line overall, and I don't know if and this is not a problem with Amazing Grace because it probably lasts long on you, doesn't it, Maud? Do you find that it goes on forever and ever?
It does,
Yeah.
Yes.
That one lasts, but some of the others, like, have you tried, there's one called like Nude Ballet and like a Rose. They're softer.
Here's my thing with this line.
Yeah.
I actually love to give it as gift because of the nice quotes of the nice things there.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I put
the little writing on it.
I put them in Christmas stuff when I do white elephant games in Christmas.
Yes.
Party. I always give the Philosophy line just because of the sentences. Yeah.
Yes. That's a great thing to say, especially for the audience. If you want an easy gift, the Philosophy ones are pretty universally likable. My one big complaint is they don't, with the exception of Amazing Grace, they don't last very, very long. You have to reapply. But at those prices, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The latest one, they had the latest one this summer called Jasmine or something.
Yes.
It was so sweet. It gave me a little bit of anxiety. That's
okay.
One of my worst purchases.
So that's a thumbs down. Okay.
Yeah, it was really sweet. It was just like, it tried to just follow those commercial sweet vanilla stuff without anything else to speak of. And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with them actually.
Okay.
I haven't tried anything from them.
I don't know if they've done any male fragrances, Jay. I think they're mostly women's or marketed toward women. Like all the labels are, white or pink or whatever. I don't know. I haven't seen any like explicitly marketed toward male, but I might be wrong. But.
Would you say any of them lean masculine that you know of? None?
I think if any of them, actually Amazing Grace, even though it smells wonderful on ladies, could be easily pulled off by gentlemen as well. That's the most famous from the line.
Mm-hmm. Because of the citrusy, and it has grapefruit, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. It's a little edgy too. Edgy in a soft way, if that makes any kind of sense. It's not overwhelmingly edgy, but it has a little bit.
Kind of like me, huh?
Kind of like you. Who's next?
So what do you have for us, Maud? What do you have something brewing there, huh?
Yeah, I have two feminist fragrances.
Feminist?
Yeah. I like to speak of them together.
All right, I'm gonna leave the chat right now.
Yeah. bad dollar sign woman inspired fragrance that I wore this week. And I find that I wear these fragrances when I'm a little bit in a funky mood, a bit like I'm just really not wearing them for anybody. Like, I'm just wearing them and I'm typically just, working by myself and things, but they are just very therapeutic. So I want to talk about both of them at the same time.
Okay.
So it's Timothy Hunt. She came to stay.
Oh.
She came to stay.
Yes.
She came to stay.
Yeah.
I know I have a story behind it.
It's inspired. Timothy Hunt's all their perfume is inspired by a great work of literature. Like that they have on the road. She Came to Stay is a feminist treatise by Simone de Beauvoir. Was a French philosopher, woman, really mother of feminist thinking and feminist writing. So she has the book She Came to Stay. It's kind of a semi-biographical book about actually she was the lover of Sartre. I'm sure you all know that philosopher. And with all the tumultuous love affair and so forth. And so the book She Came to Stay is like the same title as this perfume. And then I can give you the note in a little bit. And then you have 1969 Female Cries.
Oh, that sounds intense.
Yeah, very intense. That's why those two are my most intense fragrances. None of them are designed to aiming to please.
Yeah.
Yet they are still attractive.
And when you wear them layered, everybody better watch out.
So yeah, I was wearing those two this week. I wore this on Monday and I wore this on Tuesday.
Ooh, you've had a bold week so far.
Yeah, I needed to feel a little bit of boldness. So this one is, if you can imagine, it's like, the stuff that just kicks you right away in those fragrances that they just punch you in the face. Because they have things like camphor, eucalyptus, both of them.
Right.
And they're very green, but at the same time, they true to sort of the complexity of, feminism in women. They are not coming and sort of pleasing to the mass, but yet again, they are very attractive in their strength. So that's kind of what I capture in terms of the vibe. So this is basically an amber woody fragrance, but it has extremely strong patchouli and, like I say, camphor and vanilla. So the beginning is so earthy. You feel almost like when the rain comes and you can smell the dirt.
Yeah, I love that.
And this one feels like you're in an enchanted forest with the greenness to it. But somehow you can believe when they turn the ambery, vanillic, beautiful caramel feel to them. Yet they're women green and they're women very, je ne sais quoi. So yeah. And I think
awesome.
That I find those very perfect for transition type of fall fragrance. Yeah.
Excellent.
I think winter is too cold to really feel them as much. Yeah. So now it's perfect.
I love it. Am I next? Or is it Jay?
You could go.
Go for it. You're next.
No.
Okay, fine. So I attended a master class, my first this summer. Do you guys know Maggie at Total Fashion Sense?
Yeah.
So she told me about La Perfumerie in North Carolina, and Victoria is the owner's name. She was hosting a master class with the perfumer called Antoine Lee. And he did some work for a house called Maison Sybarite, Sybarite. I joined the master class. It was my first. It was so fun to hear directly from the perfumer what he was doing, why he was doing it, what the concept was. So one of the big things behind this newer house, they're new if I'm not mistaken, completely new. They have all their perfumes based in water. So rather than using any alcohol or direct, oils, I guess there's some oils in here. There have to be some oils for the fragrances, but the main base is water. They're eco-friendly and all of that, environmentally sustainable, etc. But the perfumer talking about his creations was so fascinating. And there was one in particular that caught my attention. So we did the little discovery set and all that. This one is called 720. And what I love about this is that, kind of like Maud, the fragrance you were talking about before, the Penhaligon's, it has that like hint of spiciness in it from the fall. So I think of this but it's not overwhelming, right? Because some spicy scents, if you're not in cooler or cold weather, they can really be a little overwhelming and maybe even headache inducing if it's not the right temperature. This one is such a soft spice that it's easy to wear now, even in the heat of summer, and as you go into the early fall, to bring to mind, evoke those wonderful fall scents like your pumpkin spice and all of that, your baked goods. This reminds me a lot of when you bake like a cinnamon bread in the oven, and maybe in the evening or the next morning, you have that faint smell in the air of that sweet spiciness but also like that bread scent, like that yeast smell almost. I know that sounds weird the way I'm describing it, but I promise it works. That's what this reminds me of. So the perfumer, he's done work like for a lot of different lines. He created Armani Code, Versace Crystal Noir, Girl by Pharrell Williams, Secretions Magnifique, if you know that one. But anyway, he worked for this line. And what I love about his story is, as he told it, the owner of Maison Sibéry gave him free reign to create his own perfume. He talked a little bit about the pressure that perfumers have when they're working for some of the bigger companies, the designer labels and all of that. There's a lot of sort of competition, a lot of pressure to put out mass appealing fragrances, or fragrances that have really amazing top notes, so that when people sniff them at the counter, they'll want them right away, but maybe they don't last long and all of that. So he talked about just the artistry and the creativity of being able to do his own thing with this. So I have all the more appreciation for this bottle because of that. So that's 720 from Maison Sibéry. The perfumer is Antoine Lee. And it's as unisex as it gets. This would be lovely on anyone. Light, fall, spicy kind of bread smell. And I can see myself wearing this at Thanksgiving too, and also into the winter if I wanted something a little bit lighter for winter, but still had that winter cozy, spicy smell. Like this would be great to sit around the Christmas tree with. 720.
What's the perfume concentration on that?
How would I know that? Does it say it on here?
Probably would say it on the box, or maybe even on there.
I don't see it directly on here. I'd have to look that up. So I'll look that up while we talk. I didn't bring down the little like flyer that has the information.
And as far as the performance, do you get great performance?
Yeah, it stays soft. So I'll say that this isn't one of those like beast mode, fill a room kind of fragrances. It's a very intimate scent. It did last on me. So I tried this. I was in Mexico when I did the masterclass. Sprayed it on, I would say, in the early afternoon. It lasted me well into the evening. I could still smell it quite clearly, and definitely on clothes. So it has, I think, pretty great performance considering that it is water-based, but again, it's soft. It stays close to the skin.
Yeah, it was very interesting that it's water-based, and
yeah,
for me, kind of threw me off. Like I would think that it wouldn't have like that depth to it with the spices, since it does have kind of like a watery component to it.
I worried about that too, and that just wasn't the case. And actually, there were, I think, maybe 6 in the discovery set. They all have pretty good longevity. I wanted to show that when you spray it on, it comes out white. And so we were all wondering, is that going to stain your clothes or anything? But you could, because it's water-based, you can actually rub it in almost like a lotion. And whatever oils they use for the perfume scents, for the notes, it's very like moisturizing. So the perfumer said, with most fragrances, they tell you don't rub it together, right? Just kind of spray it and let it sit. This one, the perfumer said you can actually rub it in, it's fine. I love it. I think it's amazing.
So what do you ladies think about that topic of rubbing fragrances? To me, it's kind of like a perfume snobbish thing, but I understand that there is a purpose to it. But
yeah, and it's a little bit wrong actually, because when the fragrance has so much oil, I know that at the Le Labo counter, they mix the fragrance, right in front of you, personalize it. But in any case, the person who was doing that told me that, and I've also read it somewhere, that the concentration in oil is so high that you can actually rub it, which only makes sense because when I spray, let's say, that De Labo on me, the oil just remains right there on the surface.
Yeah.
You don't see how it's not going to just get on something if it's not rubbed into the skin. So it could, it seems like it depends on what type of fragrance we're talking about. And to be honest with you, certain fragrances, if I don't like the top note, I'll just purposely rub it to get rid of that.
you want to speed up the
mellow it
process.
out. Yeah.
Don't let it go through that natural phase. And kind of, I don't know if I'm dating myself, but I remember when fragrances were, they didn't come in sprays normally. Like it would come in, you would have to dab it.
Dabber. Oh yeah.
So in those particular cases, really, you had to, in a way, rub the fragrance to some extent because you had to spread it around the area where you were going to apply the fragrance. So it's just kind of interesting that we've come to this full circle with things. Now you have fragrances that are actually made to be rubbed.
Yeah. I wonder, Jay, now that you said that, if that whole idea of rubbing things together, your wrist together or whatever, isn't something that got passed down from us having to do that with the dabber fragrances. I totally remember as a kid, opening those vintage bottles and dabbing on Shalimar and things like that. Jason wrote that those were strong. Yeah, those were nuclear fragrances back in the day. But yeah, I agree with you. It's a little bit of perfume snobbery to harass people about rubbing their wrists together.
Rub it.
Yeah, I saw someone literally being embarrassed by someone who said, "You are a YouTuber perfume reviewer. You should know not to rub the perfume."
Oh gosh.
And the person was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Oh my gosh.
So that's kind of like saying, like, you should spit out your wine when you taste it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna drink it.
Don't waste the wine.
I mean, and seriously, think about freedom. People are free to do whatever the heck they want.
Absolutely. It's just perfume. It's just perfume. That's right, Maud. Right. Who are you hurting? It's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll go then if I have to. I really enjoyed just listening to you ladies, and I'm honored to have you here.
I enjoy you. Thanks for inviting us. Me too.
So my next transitional fragrance is one that I'm so happy I found. It's incredible. And the reason why I'm so happy I found this fragrance is because it smells like a fragrance which I had and I truly enjoyed. This is kind of like one of those fragrances that kind of take me back to a point in time in my life. And this one is Prada Black.
Ah, love the bottle.
So very interesting. Let me spray it. Let's see. There we go. Fantastic. I mean, it smells very similar to Bulgari Black. I'm not sure if you are familiar with that fragrance. And that was a fragrance that it was my signature scent. Like, and in those days, I had like maybe 2 or 3 fragrances, and I enjoyed those fragrances, and that was it. Like now, it's out of control. It's out of hand. I don't even know why I have so many fragrances. But Bulgari Black is also very similar to Midnight in Paris, which is a very popular fragrance, and it gives you this kind of rubbery, burnt rubber type smell to it. But this one is much softer. It doesn't have that strong rubber to asphalt scent profile to it. This one is much sweeter, kind of gives you that spiciness to it, but it still kind of has that little bit of a rubber vibe, and even the bottle has a little bit of this kind of rubber to it. And just a wonderful scent for the autumn. Just reminds me of autumn, reminds me of those times, and just a great fragrance for transitioning into fall.
Okay, so here's a question for you guys related to notes and things. Rubber and gasoline. You know, some people like the smell of like diesel gasoline or well, diesel gas, I guess, and regular gasoline. And some people like the smell of like tires and things. Do either of you?
I'm a big fan of it.
Not on me. I would imagine that would be interesting on the men, depending on the men's style. You know, riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
It could be nice.
Yep.
But you know, I feel like certain notes, I prefer to enjoy them on a man. You know, I suppose
like what comes to mind?
I suppose that would smell different on me. You know, but I'm like, you know, I can see some of those notes really being nice. Like I've seen leather that feels like the pure, real, rugged leather. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I mean, who doesn't want to smell, you know, nice leather on,
right,
on their men and stuff? So that's the type of notes I feel I would kind of leave it to that area.
Okay. Leather, no leather for Maud. Got it.
No, I love the soft leather, but I've seen some leather that are really, really realistic. Like I feel like the Tom Ford leather, I went to the store and smelled it. It was truly, truly, I think it was Venetian leather or something.
Okay.
And
there's an ombre leather.
Yeah,
is that what you're thinking?
That, yeah, and I've been to
or Tuscan.
Tuscan
leather.
And,
yeah.
And I was in Tuscany, going to leather shop after leather shops. The smell is 100%.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
100. I mean, if there is, and then I said to myself, if there is one thing that people are able to capture, it's leather. That can make it really real.
Right.
So when it's super real like this, I don't think that I would feel a little bit slightly intimidated wearing it. Unless if I actually have leather on, I would still want to mix it with a little bit of a rose, with a little bit of something. Layer it a little bit.
Yeah, Jason wrote, I never understood leather in a fragrance. No, I hear you, Maud. It's nice when the leather is blended in with something else. Like, have you ever tried Spirito Fiorentino from Tiziana Terenzi? Are you familiar with that one? It's in the red bottle.
Yes, yes, I'm definitely familiar with almost
Yeah.
the Tiziana Terenzi stuff. Yes, yes.
Is that a,
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really
yeah.
nice. And I mean, on a smaller scale, the Hermes,
Hmm.
Kelly Kalesh
Yeah.
is a very beautiful leather. And I
Hmm.
actually just ordered French leather
Who
by
makes
Memo.
that?
By Memo.
Oh, okay. Oh, the
Yeah,
memo ones. Whew.
yeah, I
Yeah.
really loved it. I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
Jay, I
gotten
think,
I had gotten the sample from Nika Marks, and then I decided, to be honest with you,
uh,
I just found it at TJ Maxx website at a
yes,
substantially cheaper price.
you're so smart. Right. TJ Maxx and Marshalls, right? You'll
Yeah, they
see the
are.
memos will pop up there.
Yeah, they've been popping up this last couple of weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
a couple of the Menseras have also been popping up.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta check.
Yeah,
I
a
gotta
couple of the
check and see what they
Menseras
got.
have popped up, and they're cheap
Yeah.
because they're around $70. The
Right.
Menseras.
It's hard to beat that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jay, you sent me a long time ago a sample of African leather from
Yes,
Memo,
I
and I
remember that.
loved it. If you remember that, it's so animalic, but smooth at the same time. So I didn't end up buying it because it's a little bit over the price range that I would like to spend in, but I did get a dupe, or rather an inspired by, a copy, whatever we want to call it, from Alexandria Fragrances. I forgot what they call it, but it's almost like a dead on, version of it.
They
Love
have
it.
a new version of it called African Rose.
Mm,
It has the same African leather DNA with the addition of a rose.
nice.
Mhm.
Nice.
I think that came
That
out
should be one
earlier
to
this
check
year.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about those asphalt, very gasoline-like notes? What are your thoughts on those?
I think they're strange. I have a friend who loves, like, when she pumps gas, she loves the smell of just like the vapors, which I hold my breath when I pump gas because I don't like it. But I have to say, I have to admit, I don't pick it up in fragrances, but whenever I listen to men's channels like yours, you all talk about gasoline notes in fragrances, which is why I asked about that. I don't think that I could pick that out. Asphalt, of course, reminds me of growing up in New York City. So I have a fondness for that in a very odd, weirdo kind of way. I don't know that I want to smell like asphalt though. But I enjoy the smell of it in the air and the memories that it evokes. But I can't say that I pick up gasoline and fragrances at all.
Are there any notes that you ladies don't vibe with at all, or it's like you don't do that note? Like,
Kind of. Maud, do you want to comment on that first? Do you have anything in mind?
There is a note. I have no idea what it is. But it's in some of those modern stuff. It's just metallic. I don't know what. It's clearly a lab-made note. It clearly has nothing to do with nature.
Yeah.
And it just turned very metal and acidic on me.
Okay.
And I've noticed, I've had a couple of fragrances that has this similarity. And my husband think I smell like sweat whenever anything that has this kind of acidic, metallic thing to it.
Yeah.
So clearly I do not want to convey that.
Yeah, we don't want to smell sweaty out here in these streets.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Oh goodness.
I'm sorry. I don't understand why we were in fragrance to a good extent for us, but I am also aware that if I'm not going to be able to really smell the stuff on me like other people are smelling it on me. So if one particular note is repeatedly being characterized as something,
Yeah.
I don't want to stick with it.
Right. Understood.
I don't want to stick with it. So I have not determined what it is yet.
Mm.
But it's definitely smell made, man-made, some man-made laboratory type of modern version to amplify the smell of the fragrance. Because that would be the fragrance where I'll be across the room and he would smell it. Typically, everything is a little bit closer in distance, but it's something that's being used to amplify modern fragrance that's totally lab made, that's, constructed in a way that comes out metallic.
Yeah. Jason commented, is it civet, which is typically associated with almost like a urine smell. Something close to pee.
Yeah, it could be because I've tried a couple. No, but that one is very modern. There is an element of it in the traditional fragrances that my husband doesn't like also because he's probably smelled it on some art and stuff, like the super old, Faubourg 24, for example. I love it. But, and he was like, I don't like this, So it has the animalic stuff in it, but, like a little bit vintage.
Yeah.
So it probably some set memories that he doesn't know about that's coming up.
Yeah.
But other people have complimented me on it so I'm not worrying about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's funny you mentioned metallic because Jay, when you asked that question, there are 3 notes that I think are culprits in fragrances where Maud, I get the exact same thing and I don't like it. It doesn't, like there's parts of the fragrance that I like, but the metallic thing that's coming through, I only like it in Metalique. That's the only fragrance where I've actually enjoyed the way whatever the metallic thing is happening in there, the way it's wrapped with everything else. But in most fragrances, and there are 3 notes that are showing up that I'm wondering if give me that, and you'll hear me say it in videos, but it's freesia, which other people perceive as fresh and clean. But to me, when I see it in fragrances, it's a culprit in multiple fragrances that where I get that metallic, like just that thing, like you're saying, it smells like sweaty coins, pennies, quarters, dimes, like when you have them in your hand and you've been sweating, the smell that comes off your hand with a handful of coins. Freesia, magnolia is another. In some fragrances, it's nice, and in others, it's cold and metallic and weird. And then Lily of the Valley, which makes me sad because a lot of people love, especially women, they'll talk about loving fragrances that have those notes. To their nose, it smells clean, fresh, uplifting, light and bright. But to me, I get exactly what you're talking about, like the sweaty, metallic funk. It just doesn't work.
And to add to that one is not flower, but those one note fragrances like Juliet Has a Gun, not a perfume.
Yeah.
When people say they smell nothing, what I'm really smelling is a heavy detergent like.
Interesting.
And well, to give you an idea, right? My kid had her room closed up, and I'm like, my gosh, why did you leave your room closed up? So I went, because I have a Juliet Has a Gun, not a perfume, right? I went and sprayed that thing all over her room.
How about that?
And then she came back and was like, Mom, she didn't know I put fragrance. She thought I came and sprayed ammonia in her room.
Really?
No,
but I
that's
was trying
crazy.
to get rid of my not a perfume Juliet Has a Gun. And that kid came to me and said, like, Mom, why did you spray all this ammonia in my room?
Wow.
So I know ammonia is very strong in the urine and metallic arena. So I think whatever they're doing in those type of non-fragrance fragrances also has the same vibe.
Interesting. Isn't it interesting how you smell clean laundry and your child smelled ammonia of all things?
Yeah.
Like how different the perceptions are.
Yeah, not clean laundry in the best way. Not clean laundry in the best way. No. Just harsh detergent.
Harsh detergent. Okay, gotcha.
Socks you have.
Oh my goodness. Jay, are there any notes that you have a strong aversion to?
I do. I really, I'm not a big musk.
Oh, interesting.
I'm
I
really
would think you love musk.
It depends. Some of them are okay. Some of them are very, very tough to wear, especially like if it's on the unisex side, I tend to think that the musk is gonna lean feminine with those fragrances, and I really don't do well with it. There's a difference between a masculine musk and a feminine musk. There's a very distinct difference in those. And even a masculine musk, some of them could smell like BO in some cases, like,
Right.
depending on how it was. Like to me, a feminine musk sometimes is a little bit more sweeter. It has a little bit of sweetness to it, where a masculine musk is sometimes either neutral or could be a little bit challenging. Almost animalic in some cases. So musk is so for me.
It's iffy. Do you have any examples that come to mind of male fragrances that have a lot of musk that don't do it for you?
There's one which I really like though. It's called Chrome Sport by Azzaro. It's a good fragrance, but if you're not if your body chemistry, your pH is off that day, it could go
smelling funky.
it could be a little, it could be weird.
Gonna be a funk pot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I think that's about it.
Yeah, musk is funny because I was reading an article and it's supposed to be one of the most attractive scent on women that men find. And so
I like it on women. I just don't like it on me. Yeah. Like, just to clarify that, I like smelling it on women quite a bit. Yeah. But I don't like smelling it on me. It really.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, if the dominant note is musk, like we have Narcisco, Rodriguez. I've loved them. I try to love them, but I have to wash it off after a while because after wearing musk for a while, a couple of hours, I feel I cannot breathe.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm not able to breathe. So I have to wash it off. Like first,
it can be overwhelming.
Enjoy it, but after a while, I can handle it.
Yeah, and that Narciso, the white one, it's one of my favorites. I mean, it's like in my top 3 probably, right? But you're right, and it can give you a headache. If you overspray or if you wear it too long, it gets to be too much, but it's beautiful for those first few hours, you know? Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Is Jay there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Listening to you ladies.
Are we still doing fragrances? Are we winding down or what are we doing?
I think we can wind down. It's up to you ladies.
Yeah, I can talk about just 2 really quick.
Yeah,
and then we can talk about other things. So, and I'm not even going to open them, but in terms of transition, so I purposely I usually don't buy a lot of fragrance, to be honest, so I feel bad about it, but I'm fine with that. But I wanted to try the house of Serja. And I sort of invested a little bit in 2 of their fragrances, so it's not open yet. But based on the notes, I felt they were going to be transitory fragrances. That's why I purchased them. So this one is I wanted one that's very dressy. So when I approach a house, because I'm just not able to buy everything from the house, I'm a little bit strategic about it. So I would go for something a little bit outside of my comfort zone, that's a little bit heavier, that has more impact, that's dressier, and one that's lighter and fresher, because that's kind of my type of favorite fragrance. So I got 2 from them. So one is Bouquet. So this one I got from Twisted Lily. It's not even out yet in the back. It's connected here. So it's Bouquet Ideal.
Yeah.
And then Fiori d'Ulivo.
Oh.
So I got those two. This one I felt it was fresh,
Okay.
which I like because it has, the lemon, the Amalfi lemon, of course. It has basil. It has jasmine, but the base note is moss and amber.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt it was going to be a fresh fragrance that also is transitory in a sense that because it's a little bit heavier, it wasn't going to just be a summer fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, based on my note for it, the Bouquet Ideal, I think it's a gourmand that based on the note I felt was also going to be nice during the fall. So that's why I got those two. I'm yet to review them and do a first impression. Because they're totally blind buys. I don't know anything about them.
I do not about either of those. I was going to ask if you purchased directly from the website or somewhere else.
I purchased this from Twisted Lily.
Yeah. Love shopping with them. Yep.
Yeah, and to be honest, I only got the ones that were on sale.
I don't blame you.
It was on sale. Bouquet Ideal was on sale. And and this one was on sale. So it wasn't extremely exorbitant.
Yep.
And so this happened. And then we've already talked about this one. So I don't need to talk about it. I'm yet to open it also, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's it for me, fragrance-wise.
Awesome. How about you, Jay? Anything else?
I could go on for days, but we'll leave it at that. How about you?
I'll just say one more thing, and that is don't be afraid to use some of the ones from the summer that are thicker in the fall. And I got this idea from, you guys watch Marcelena Teresa? And if you don't, you need to go check her out. She's a wonderful channel, but she did like a fall vibes video, and I was really shocked to see her mention what are typically like fruity summer smells. And it dawned on me that makes good sense because they're heavy. So one that comes to mind for me are like any of the angel stars. Like this is the Eau Crozier 20. What the heck is this? This is the 2021 Angel Ice Star is what this is. And it has pineapple and coconut, which you associate with beachy summer smells, right? But it's so thick and dense that it would absolutely do super well as we get into cooler weather. So I love that idea. I hadn't really thought about that as part of your fall fragrance repertoire. Don't leave behind like the only one intense. Those fragrances that have a lot of substance, they're kind of chewy. I call them chewy because they have a lot of like meat, if you will, with the way that they're done. So that's my parting comment.
Mm. All right.
Jay has turned off the light.
Yeah.
That's like Mr. Rogers closing us out by putting on his cardigan. You know what I mean?
Cardigan. Sneakers. Sneakers.
Yeah, that's like putting on the slippers and the cardigan and saying, it's time. It's a wrap, folks.
A robe.
I'm using my small telephone. I've not been able to see any comments.
Oh,
there was a bunch.
Really?
Yeah. No questions though. I really wanted some questions, some feedback, but people were very supportive.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. This was fun. Thanks, Jay, for inviting us. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Good way to spend a Friday night.
We'll do it again.
Yes.
Yay.
I wish I would have had some like some wine or something. But
next time we'll do like a cocktail hour together or something, right?
I would love that. I would definitely.
And I'll do my hair for you guys. I promise.
the hair is fine.
Okay, everyone.
All right. Bye,
All right, you guys. Have a good night. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.